Hello, I am your host, Andrew Tracy. Welcome to the Cheap Wine Review Show, aka the internet's cheapest wine show. We're so cheap we ripped off someone else's introduction. Today I have got well, you know what, I should explain first what this show is going to be all about. I've got a blog, cheapwinereview.com, and I like wine, and I also have very little money. So I'm going to be reviewing wines on there. Almost all of them are going to be under $15. Most of them will not be over 10 or 12, generally speaking. There's going to be a lot of them on there between the $5 and $12 mark, roughly. So if you're in a similar situation, I know a lot of people are, especially younger people. If you're in college, something along those lines, you're a single bachelor or bachelorette living in an apartment or wherever, and you don't have a lot of money to spend on wine, but you love wine or you want to get into wine, I'm going to have various videos reviewing lots of, I shouldn't say cheap wine, but inexpensive but good for the most part. I'm sure there'll be some bad ones, but the good part about that is you'll know what not to buy. I'm also going to try and hook up with some online retailers to see if I can't link to the specific wines I'm reviewing as an affiliate, so I get paid for it. That's basically going to have to be what's going to allow me to continue having the blog and everything, because I do have to have money for hosting and all that sort of stuff. I love wine though, and I am now going to review a wine that you can buy for $9.99. That's what I found it for. It is a Argentina Malbec, which Argentina Malbecs, the Malbec is the varietal. Varietal means the type of grape, i.e. Cabernet Sauvignon, Sauvignon Blanc, Merlot, Riesling, Chardonnay. Those are all the specific type of grape used, otherwise known as a varietal. This varietal is a Malbec, which a lot of people haven't heard of, right? That's a rather unknown wine, and it is an Argentinian. It is almost exclusively Argentinian Malbecs right now, and it has very recently, about the past 6 months, past year or so, recently become kind of a fad. They've become very, very, very popular. And I've just tasted my first one, and I can see why. This is a Trumpeter 2006 Malbec Mendoza by Rutini Wines. You can see the label there, hopefully. I will link to it, all right, on my blog. This is also going to go on YouTube, but I'll link to my blog over there on the right information thing, and you can go there and whether I get paid for it or not, I will hook up a link to someone who sells it online for you. But I just popped the cork on this probably about 15 minutes ago. Let's smell it. Notice I'm swirling the wine. The reason you do that before you smell it is because it'll aerate it. It'll get a lot of that liquid evaporated quite quickly and into the air, into the atmosphere inside the wine glass, so that you can smell it. I know a lot of you probably know this, but some of you don't, and I'm also going to be teaching a lot of stuff on this blog as well. Most of it's going to be written as opposed to doing it on video. Most of the videos are going to be actual wine reviews. So anyway, let's give this wine a smell. Fruity, very fruity. Cherries, like maraschino cherries, and a little bit like cherry cough syrup. Cherry cough drops, maybe, cough syrup, something like that, which is not inherently a bad thing. I've learned that wines have all kinds of weird smells. That one actually has a little bit of a poop smell to it, a bit, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I've smelled just outstanding wines. One of them was an Italian wine, I can't think of the name, but it smelled exactly like kiwi shoe polish. It's really, really good. Other wines will smell like mold. Rieslings will tend to smell musky. You'll hear that term used to describe Rieslings a lot, musky. They smell like a moldy cellar, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It does not at all mean they're going to taste bad. It's just a distinct smell that they've got. Very fruity, kind of cherry, strawberry, cherry cough syrup Bit of dung. Yeah, a little poopy smell, and that kind of smell. If you smell that, that's what the wine snobs would call earthy tones. Kind of has a soil fertilizer, earthy sort of smell to it. Sometimes people will a little bit more unceremoniously describe that as a poop smell or dung smell. I hate to say the wine smells like shit, but well, to be literally honest, it does. And although that's not necessarily a bad thing, let's give it a little snort. Mm. Mm. Wow, that's really good. Um, Initially, you get you get a bit of fruit, you get some cherries, some strawberries, and then it turns kind of sour, a little bit of sour and acid. Acids taste sour, so you'll hear wines. If a wine has a sour taste to it, oftentimes people will say it's got good acidity, or it has a very acid sort of taste to it. That means sour, um, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It'll help balance out the other flavors that are going on. It's a little bit tannic, not very tannic, a little bit. Tannic will give you that sort of cotton mouth kind of, it feels like it's drying your mouth out. Not too bad. The acidity balances that out nicely. It starts off with a bit of cherries, and then it kind of transitions into almost like uh, a sweet, lemony, limey, sort of like very fruity. Lots of fruits. Fruit explosion in your mouth. Vaynerchuk would call this a fruit bomb. It is, and not in a bad way. It's very, very good. On the back end, it's sort of the finish, which I can still taste just a little bit. It's very unique. It's oranges, a little bit. Oranges. Let me try that again. Poop. You know what really hits you first is the tannins, and they're not strong either, but that does come first. Um, it's a little bit of tannic, and then oranges, just immediately fruit, oranges, limes, sugary sort of limes, not really sour. The acidity is there, but just a little bit. It balances out with the fruit. It's very, very nice. And then on the end, it's a little bit more acidity on the end, not a lot of heat. When someone says heat, that's referring to the alcohol. That is, all right, for example, if you take a shot of vodka straight, that burning sensation you get down your throat, that's heat. Okay, a wine may or may not have this, and may or may not be a good thing. If there's too much of it, that can be a bad thing. Too much of anything is not good. Too much fruit, too much acidity, too much tannin. Those are all bad things. But this one has got just a little bit of heat on the back end that you can taste. It's not bad at all. It's 13.5% alcohol content. Excuse me. But this is a very good wine. I would rate this like an 88 out of 100 using the infamous 100-point scale. Tannins and fruit and acidity, and it all balances out pretty nicely. That's a nice wine. It's good on its own. It would be even better with a steak. Two very enthusiastic thumbs up on that one. Again, that's a Trumpeter 2006 Malbec Mendoza by Rutini. That's very nice. About $10 roughly. I saw it online for $9.99, and yeah, there you go. How should I end this? You, with a little bit of cheap wine, can get drunk too. How about that?